Power struggle escalates, throwing eggs in Xi Jinping's potential downfall. Unusual phenomenon, Chengdu residents capture 7 sons. Self-ignition, explosions, walking coffins, Chinese electric cars are totally rotten. High-end restaurants in Shanghai shutting down, even Michelin introduces budget menus. Foreclosed homes surge, experts, CCP financially drained, waiting for bubble to burst. U.S. Treasury, China's central bank agreed to cooperate during times of financial stress. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Power struggle escalates, throwing eggs in Xi Jinping's potential downfall. Recently, the disappearance of Xi Jinping and all 6 standing committee members has sparked heated discussions. In a NTD's program Elite Forum, law professor Yuan Hongbing revealed that a conscientious CCP insider leaked an audio recording indicating that Xi Jinping is facing severe challenges. The term complete loss of public trust was used, suggesting not only that public grievances are surging and social stability is fragile, but also that the morale of officials is increasingly shaky. After the CCP's 3rd plenary session, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, CCDI, and the National Supervisory Commission released a corruption report highlighting a new trend where some officials and businessmen are colluding through the once popular card game Guangdan, also known as throwing eggs, forming a new power-for-money corruption model. The report shows that although CCP officials appear to be lying flat, they are secretly using throwing eggs to engage in factional politics, effectively forming proto-organizations that are constantly monitoring for a potential collapse of Xi Jinping's power. For the audiences who may not know, the homegrown game Guangdan is played with 2 decks of cards by 4 players split into 2 teams. The objective is for one team to play all their cards before the opposing team. Originating in East China's financial circles, it has been popular among Chinese people for socializing and passing the time. Recently, Guangdan has come under scrutiny by Beijing Youth Daily, a newspaper affiliated with the state-owned Beijing Daily newspaper group. In a series of critical commentaries published from August 5 to 7, titled Urgent Need to Dismantle the Clique Culture Around Guangdan, the newspaper stated, Guangdan has become a convenient tool for social networking and, consequently, has evolved into a stepping stone for those seeking to establish political connections and pursue personal gain. The publication also noted that Guangdan attracted an estimated 140 million players in 2023. According to the commentary, some Chinese Communist Party members and officials have spent tens of hours per week on the game, neglecting their work. The commentary further called the game as a new norm of the lying flat culture. Alright, back to our topic. According to another leaked audio message, in early August, an internal briefing by Xinhua news agency, reserved for top officials, reported that cadres in various regions were spreading a rumor during Guangdan game gatherings. The rumor claims that a certain central leader was involved with rebel factions during the Cultural Revolution and is a remnant of the Gang of Four. Under the guise of anti-corruption, this leader is allegedly preparing to target red families who were persecuted during the Cultural Revolution as a means of avenging the Gang of Four. CCP insiders clarify that the central leader mentioned in this report is Kai Chi, secretary of the CCP Central Committee Secretariat, and Li Shi, secretary of the CCDI. The source of this information appears to be the princeling families, who have seized this sensitive period to focus their political attacks on Xi Jinping's close allies, Kai Chi and Li Shi. If it's proven that this individual was indeed involved in rebel activities during the Cultural Revolution, Xi Jinping's rule could face a major crisis. Currently, Beijing's political circles are buzzing with a quote attributed to former Premier Wen Jiabao: "If anyone attempts to revive the ultra-leftist ideology of the Cultural Revolution and launch mass criticism campaigns, or if anyone seeks to restore the path of the Gang of Four, they'll have to take my head first. I won't stand by and watch the Yangtze and Yellow Rivers flow backward." Yuan Hongbing further explained that during the 1989 crackdown on students, Wen Jiabao, as director of the CCP General Office, followed Deng Xiaoping's orders to restrict the movements of then General Secretary Zhao Ziyang. When Zhao Ziyang visited the students at Tiananmen Square, Wen Jiabao was at his side. Had Zhao stayed at the square, personnel from the Central Security Bureau would have likely dealt with him or taken him away. Wen's actions earned him the deep trust of Deng Xiaoping and the Deng family. Some believe that in this sensitive time, Wen Jiabao is once again speaking out on behalf of the Deng family and the princeling families, directly threatening Xi Jinping's political survival. Yuan also mentioned that conscientious insiders within the CCP have reported that Xi Jinping plans to publicly praise Deng Xiaoping's reform and opening up policies soon, aiming to counter the princeling family's attacks on his close allies, Kai Chi and Li Shi. The princelings have launched an intense political challenge, seeking to verify whether Kai Chi and Li Shi were involved in rebel activities during the Cultural Revolution. Additionally, the recent wave of criticism targeting the Guangdong game is believed to be aligned with Kai Chi's intentions. The ongoing internal CCP power struggle will focus on whether concrete evidence can be found confirming these two were involved in rebel activities. Yuan concluded, to safeguard himself and prove his loyalty to Deng Xiaoping, Xi Jinping is forced to create an image of supporting Deng's policies. Unusual phenomenon: Chengdu residents capture 7 suns. On August 18, residents in Chengdu witnessed an extraordinary sight: 7 suns aligned in a straight line across the sky, quickly drawing widespread attention. Videos shared online show the phenomenon from windows of Huaxi Hospital, with some residents reporting 6 suns and others capturing 7. In the footage, the suns are arranged in a line, with the brightest 1/3 from the left. The brightness gradually fades in the outer suns as cloud cover increases. On August 19, the Weibo channel People's Attention reported that Ms. Wang, a Chengdu resident, filmed the 7 suns from the 11th floor of a hospital building. She noted that the sight lasted only about a minute before disappearing, during which everyone present was busy capturing the scene from different angles. In response to speculation that the phenomenon was caused by glass refraction, Ms. Wang firmly denied it, stating, "It absolutely couldn't have been glass refraction. The effect people mention online is simply not possible." The middle sun was clear to everyone, but upon closer look, you could see there were 7 in total. Recently, such unusual phenomena have frequently occurred in mainland China. On July 26, 3 suns were seen in Suining and Guangda, Sichuan. In 2023 and 2022, multiple suns appeared in locations such as Sichuan and Beijing, with several Chinese media outlets reporting on these occurrences. On X platform, some users referenced ancient Chinese texts, noting that multiple suns symbolize power struggles. The celestial aligns with the earthly. This has been recorded throughout history. Something major is about to happen. According to the Book of Jin, astronomical records, in January 317 AD, 3 suns appeared in the sky, accompanied by a white rainbow reaching the zenith. Soothsayers interpreted the event as an omen of impending conflict. A white rainbow indicates war. The appearance of 3 suns suggests that within 3 months, feudal lords will vie to become emperor. The Jingzhou prophecy adds, 3 suns appearing together foretells the destruction of feudal lords, abandoned cities, in a year marked by war and great mourning. Self-ignition, explosions, walking coffins, Chinese electric cars are totally rotten. In recent years, the impact of the US-China tech war has gone global. Chinese new energy vehicles have been aggressively pushed overseas, but they've often come under fire for quality issues. As a result, countries in Europe and the US have started to curb Chinese EV exports. In this climate, buying Huawei smartphones and domestic electric vehicles has become a show of patriotism. Many car owners, in support of Chinese companies, have ditched Japanese and German fuel cars in favor of domestic EVs. Brands like BYD, Xiaomi, and Huawei are cashing in on this patriotic sentiment, raking in substantial profits. The supporters include some high-profile tech executives and tycoons. However, these domestic cars haven't exactly made them look good. On July 30, Zhou Hongyi, the founder of China's internet giant Qihoo 360, found himself in an embarrassing situation while test driving a domestic electric vehicle, the Haobo model from GAC Ion. The incident was captured in a video where a car company employee is seen explaining to Zhou that the Haobo HT's gull-wing doors come with an anti-pinch feature. Zhou then placed his hand in the door gap and pressed the close button, expecting the feature to kick in as the door lowered. Unexpectedly, the door continued to close even after touching Zhou's hand, instead of stopping and reversing. He yelped in pain as staff rushed to lift the door and apologized, saying, "Sorry, I should have tested it first." Zhou, clearly annoyed, ignored the apology and kept shaking his hand in discomfort. The staff then tried a second test, but the anti-pinch feature still failed to work. It seems that supporting domestic cars might be best done quietly, as turning it into a big public event with media coverage can sometimes backfire. High-end restaurants in Shanghai shutting down, even Michelin introduces budget menus. Amid China's worsening economy, high-end restaurants in Shanghai are closing one after another. Recently, Latelier 18, a luxury dining spot on the third floor of Bund 18, suddenly suspended operations, raising industry concerns. In a bid for survival, many upscale restaurants are now offering downgraded budget menus. High-end dining, typically defined by an average spending of over 500 yuan, about $70 per person, often features Western, French, and omakase cuisine. Latelier 18, located by the Huangpu River, was once a symbol of luxury dining in Shanghai, with per-person spending averaging 1,580 yuan, about $220. On August 19, the Meituan app showed the restaurant is now closed. Reports indicate that employees were informed last minute, with unpaid wages and severance still outstanding. Further investigations revealed the restaurant had been struggling for months, with delayed payments to employees and suppliers, alongside operational chaos. Despite the abrupt closure, some platforms claim the restaurant may resume operations. Since the start of this year, several well-known high-end restaurants in Shanghai, such as KOR Shanghai, Shanghai Yuxilan and Minglu Sichuan, have faced similar closures. Data from Red Restaurant shows that over the past 5 years, restaurants in Shanghai with an average customer bill above 500 yuan, about $70, accounted for 1.35% of the total number of dining establishments, numbering over 2,700. As of July this year, this figure has decreased by more than 1,400, with over half of these establishments having shut down. To adapt, many restaurants are introducing more affordable options. Zenrongji now offers a 398 yuan budget menu, about $56, while others have reduced prices and added extras like free drinks. EHB, previously averaging 4,400 yuan, about $616 per meal, has cut prices by nearly a third. Consumers and industry insiders alike note that with widespread pay cuts, the frequency of high-end dining has dropped significantly. As one industry professional remarked, it's either lower prices or shut down. According to Tianyanka data, in the first half of this year, 1.347 million new catering-related enterprises were registered in China, while 1.056 million were deregistered or had their licenses revoked. This trend highlights the broader challenges facing high-end dining, with more closures expected in the coming months as the market continues to shift. Foreclosed homes surge, experts, CCP financially drained, waiting for bubble to burst. Recent data from real estate research firm CRIC reveals a sharp rise in judicial auctions across China, with over 202,000 residential properties auctioned in the first half of 2024, marking a 12% year-on-year increase. Cities like Chengdu, Xiamen, Fuzhou, and Suzhou saw auction listings surge by over 40%. This surge reflects more households struggling with mortgage payments amid economic downturns. Lu Dongyue, an employee at a judicial auction agency in Guangzhou, reports a significant increase in auctions, particularly in Guangzhou and Shenzhen, mainly due to economic difficulties faced by wage earners and small business owners, who represent about 80% of defaults. Lu notes the personal toll on families who purchased at market peaks, exhausting savings only to see property values plunge by 40% to 50%. He shared stories of families driven to financial ruin, including one case where a person entered ICU as their financial situation collapsed. Auction success rates have declined, averaging 17% in the first half of 2024, down 7 percentage points year-on-year, with properties selling at an average 33% discount. Zhang Yuxiang, a partner at an auction agency in Nanjing, describes a high failure rate of 70% to 80%, with properties often selling at just 50% to 60% of their original value. CRIC data shows that while the overall market remains sluggish, some sectors show resilience. In Shanghai, the success rate of judicial auctions reached 46%, with properties priced between 3 million yuan, about $420,000, and 5 million yuan, about $700,000, achieving a 59% success rate. Economic instability continues to weigh on the property market. Data from China's National Bureau of Statistics shows that in July, new home prices in major cities continued to fall. Prices in Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen dropped by 0.5%, 0.8%, and 0.9%, respectively. Second-tier cities saw a 0.6% month-on-month decline, slightly narrowing from the previous month, while third-tier cities experienced a 0.7% drop, with the decline widening compared to June. As market challenges persist, experts like Shang caution potential buyers about the financial risks of purchasing in unstable conditions, suggesting that renting may be a safer option during uncertain times. A report from the Zhuge Data Research Center shows a continued downturn in the second-hand housing market. The July 2024 100 City Housing Price Index report indicates that average prices for second-hand homes in 100 major cities dropped to 14,329 yuan, or around $2,000, per square meter, reflecting a 7.05% year-on-year decline. The report highlights falling prices across all city tiers, with the pace of decline accelerating compared to the previous quarter. Amid China's ongoing real estate slump, the IMF's August 2 report urged Beijing to implement a $1 trillion fiscal package to complete pre-sold properties or compensate homebuyers. However, Chinese authorities rejected the proposal, concerned it would set expectations for government bailouts. Chinese economic sociologist He Qinglian commented that the CCP's refusal stems from the enormous costs required to save the housing market, given the government's financial strain. With a national fiscal deficit of 4.06 trillion yuan at a 3% deficit rate, limited resources are being allocated to maintain local government operations. He also noted that after years of real estate controls, the CCP recognizes that injecting more funds would be unsustainable, choosing not to prop up a bubble destined to burst. U.S. Treasury, China's central bank, agreed to cooperate during times of financial stress. The U.S. Treasury Department announced on August 19 that it has agreed with the People's Bank of China, PBOC, to cooperate during times of financial stress by sharing information and coordinating on crisis management. This collaboration marks the fifth meeting of the Joint Financial Working Group, which was initiated last September to establish a regular and structured communications channel led by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Deputy Governor of the People's Bank of China, Xian Changning, and Brent Neiman, Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, convened on August 15 and 16 to advance this initiative. During their discussions, they exchanged key points of contact for financial crisis management and planned to conduct additional technical exercises. The meetings also covered a range of topics including countering money laundering, roles of international financial institutions, and the intricacies of cross-border payments and data. Additionally, they discussed financial instability concerns stemming from regulatory changes, as reported in statements published by Chinese state-run media, and addressed climate and sustainability issues. U.S. lawmakers have recently called for greater scrutiny of Chinese goods and services in the consumer market. TikTok, Temu, and other Chinese e-retailers have come under fire for a lack of transparency regarding data collection and labor issues, such as disclosing whether they are taking measures to avoid using forced labor in goods sold to the United States. Meanwhile, China has set new restrictions on the export of critical minerals used in technology manufacturing of electric vehicles and military weapons, tightening its hold on the supply chain. This tightening comes as the Chinese market is experiencing volatility and a noticeable loss of foreign investors. In response to these market conditions, the Chinese Stock Exchange on August 19 stopped releasing daily and real-time data on foreign equity moving into China, opting instead for a quarterly release. This move, previously hinted at by Chinese regulators, eliminates a key market indicator and comes at a time when China is set to experience its first annual outflow of foreign capital since Bloomberg began tracking such data in 2016. This market instability is reflected in the actions of U.S. index provider MSCI Incorporated, which last week removed 60 Chinese companies from its index in the third major culling this year. This decision followed shortly after the Chinese State Administration of Foreign Exchange released data indicating that, for the second time since 1998, foreign investors withdrew more money from China than they invested in a quarter. The declining foreign investment trend was evident early in the year, with a 20% decrease in the first 2 months compared to the previous year. Despite this downturn, Chinese officials have attempted to mitigate concerns by introducing measures in March to increase foreign investment in sectors like manufacturing, telecommunications, medical care, finance, and technology. Furthermore, Beijing sought to bolster confidence by inviting CEOs from major U.S. companies like Blackstone, FedEx, and Qualcomm to the China Development Forum to discuss these new opportunities. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.